It is 10 o'clock, and I'm calling the regular session of the Board of Supervisors into session. Can we take a roll, please?
Supervisor Short,
I'm here.
Supervisor Borges,
I'm here.
Supervisor Howard,
Here.
Supervisor Starkey,
I'm here.
Chair Wilson.
Here. Now, if we please take a moment of reflection. Thank you. Can you please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any new employees to...
Yes, Chair. We have Health and Human Services here today, and we have Information Technology. We'll be following them.
Oh,
Cheyenne Hogan, Deputy Director for Behavioral Health. I'm going to welcome Katie Hampson from our Social Services Department to introduce her new staff.
Good morning.
good morning.
I'd like to introduce Pearl Gonzalez. She started in social services as a vocational assistant. She's local to this community. She has experience working for Child Care Council and the Family Resource Center, and we're really excited to have her on our team.
Welcome. Thank you.
Proud to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. We're very excited and want to introduce Matthew Marerviov. I even practiced it. I still couldn't get it. No, but it'll be in his emails. Anyway, we've been to our staff for a while, and we're very happy to have him on staff as a System Support Specialist trainee. So, thank you.
I just want to say thank you for having me. It's pretty excited. And thanks for Dan for giving me the opportunity to join the team.
Good deal.
Welcome. Any action to report out? Since we didn't have one.
Yes, we didn't.
No, Chair.
Thank you. The chair requests any deletions, corrections, or additions from board members to the agenda at this time. In order to add an item to the agenda, this matter would have had to come before the attention of the county subsequent to the posting of the agenda, as the matter requires action before the next regular meeting and the Board of Supervisors. No such action, I believe? No? Very good. Receive other brief reports, announcements relative to the County of Del Norte programs, projects by two committees, goal committees, and the board staff and travel training related reports. Supervisor Starkey, if you would start.
Thank you, Chair. It was a relatively quiet couple of weeks. I was able to travel to Sonoma County to watch my niece get married. So that's always a joy to be able to take a little time away from the job here, which I love, though. So I attended the California State Association of Counties, we often call that CSAC, the Insurance Working Group session. Supervisor Howard is on that committee, and I'm hoping that he'll provide the details of this important work group, and appreciate his efforts and his contributions to that. And I just want to say that during the one session, Supervisor Howard really represented the citizens of Del Norte County and in relation to the recent fire. So he'll give you updates, I'm sure, on that. Continued with the planning of the 4th of July events. This is the biggest one. I attended the local behavioral health board meeting, and through that, there was a lot that was discussed as usual. It's by monthly meetings, but we discussed in detail the implementation of the mobile crisis unit, which is called the PATH. And I'm not going to be able to say what that stands for as of now, but all counties in the state of California need to have this implementation of mobile crisis units by July 1st, 2024. And our team is working very hard to meet that deadline. We are going to meet that deadline, but the complete program really won't be live at that time, but we've decided we'll do a slow rollout, make sure we get all the bugs worked out. We are waiting on the actual unit, the actual vehicle, which when there is a crisis in the community, that unit, staffed with a behavioral health specialist and a peer support, will go out to the actual address and try and work with the people to decompress and try and get them to be able to avert the crisis before having to then use other resources like taking them to jail, unfortunately, or the hospital. So I'm very excited about this program. I think it's going to be very successful. Public will be able to call the mobile crisis unit. There'll be a screening. Also law enforcement, if they arrive on a scene and then they realize that what they need is this crisis unit, they'll be able to dispatch the crisis unit out. Discuss the bridge housing program. If you're paying attention to the state budget, one of the things that is concerning is the funding that we get. We are with a continuum of care with Shasta County. So our bridge housing funding comes through the Shasta County. There's several counties in the thing. And they get the funding and then they distribute that out to us. We applied for the bridge round 3. But we didn't apply for 4. 4 is what's looking like it's going to get cut out the state budget. So we're going to be okay for now. But that funding is used to access housing for individuals who need to have a place to go while they're treating their mental health illnesses. And it's a bridge housing. And so it's a bridge program for housing. The houses have been rented and furnished, and we're just waiting to figure out the staffing and iron out some of the other processes there. And then we approved the fiscal year 24-25 Mental Health Services Act, which we call that MHSA, which is going away because of Prop 1. But we approved probably one of the final MHSA reports, and it'll be coming to this entire Board of Supervisors. I just want to applaud the staff for the work that they put into that very detailed report. And we had the open public hearing where the public could address it, and now it'll come before the board for our final approval. I attended the local area formation committee. I'm really trying not to just use acronyms, but it's LAFCO. I missed it so much. It's one of my favorite committees to sit on, but Supervisor Wilson is assigned to that, and I had the privilege of being able to sit on that for him. I attended city council meeting, several meetings, and continue to work with the implementation of teen court, which we don't know if we're going to call it peer court, teen court, youth court. Your input would be valuable in that. I'm assigned to a smaller group who is going to be coordinating the implementation of this court. It's really an upstream service, so when kids are starting to show some sort of signs that they're getting into trouble, it's how can we divert that and how can we sit down. Kids oftentimes don't want to hear from me or from any adult, but hearing from their own peers is a possibility of a way for them to actually understand the consequences and maybe change some behaviors. I met with the auditor controller and discussed the possibility of open budget workshops and hearings, and he does now seem receptive to that idea, so I'm hoping that at some point we can bring that back before the board to modify our current order of not having those. And then I met with the sheriff and Supervisor Short to talk about some information that is important to this community, and that is my report.
Supervisor Howard, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll try to keep my report a little bit more brief. The Border Coast Regional Airport Authority met, and Supervisor Short and I attended that meeting. Basically, the crux of our almost 3-hour meeting was the discussion around the budget, which will be coming before the board probably at your next meeting in June. I wanted to focus on 2 items, however. One was our Forest Service pre-fire season meeting. This is a meeting that both the Gasky Ranger District and myself as County Supervisor for District 3 have been holding for almost the last 10 years. But it was our most well-attended meeting that I think I've ever seen, including from our represented agencies, which include the Donor Fire Safe Council, CAL FIRE, Tolowadini Nation, and the DNSO. It looks like we're going to be off to a pretty interesting start to the fire season this year. Weather conditions are warming up. wood matter seems to be drying out a little quicker than we anticipated, so we do need to have quite a bit of diligence. But where I wanted to spin off on some really good work that is taking place up on our forest right now is all these fire breaks that are there to protect our communities, such as Gasky and Hyuchi and Smith River, have been moving along quite well under a contract with Talowadini. And there's quite a bit of work going up there right now. And so I suspect with the fires that we had last year and the work that's taking place right now, we're going to get quite a bit done before any lightning strikes, which are pretty more common in August and September, hit us. And so I'm really looking forward to that, and also getting some work done in the town of Gasky itself. We didn't get a lot of specific home sites cleared, as many as what we should have up there, and I'm hoping that between the Del Norte Fire Safe Council and our code enforcement office, we could begin addressing some of the properties that need some attention. And then I wanted to end on the information that Supervisor Starkey brought forward on the California State Association of Counties Insurance Working Group. It's a subcommittee of the Natural Resources Goals, not Natural Resources Goals Committee, but our Agriculture, Environment, Natural Resources Working Group. And this is the first kickoff meeting we have, and we worked with the Little Hoover Institute, which is a quasi-governmental agency that essentially is investigating this nexus between insurance providers here in the state of California, in addition, those that are purchasing insurance in the state of California, and trying to find paths forward. As you're probably aware, the insurance issue here in the state is not just in the state of California, it's nationwide, and a lot of complexities around it. So trying to tease out those complexities so all of us could have insurance is quite an interesting feat right now. With the finger that we essentially put into the dike last year with the governor's executive order that allowed Ricardo Lara, who's our current insurance commissioner, to kind of stem the flow of cancellations and provide more resources into the FAIR plan. It's not working as effectively as it needs to be, and in essence, the FAIR plan is pretty much oversubscribed at this point. And we need to find ways and paths forward to allow both insurance providers in the state of California to work together that doesn't give cause to groups like State Farm that here 2 months ago made the announcement that they're pulling out of about 70,000 policies here in the state. It's a real wake-up call for the state, and I hope we can move upon it expediently, and groups like CSAC Insurance Working Group can help provide some insight to what we're seeing on the ground. One thing I will add, I've been working with the the Sacramento Bee on providing some insight into loopholes that the insurance companies are currently using to back out of the moratorium that was put in place last September by the state of California when a fire does occur in a neighborhood. It provides a one-year moratorium from any type of cancellation. And it appears that they found some loopholes, insurance companies in this case, to go ahead and cancel policies anyway, especially in backyards like Gasky and Hyuchi. And so shining some light on this to find out where those loopholes are, and more importantly, pass those along to our legislators, I think is critical right now, so we could close up those loopholes with legislation. And that's the end of my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Short, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've met a couple of times with the Homeless Housing and Services Subcommittee and the Land Acquisition Subcommittee in the last couple of weeks. Listened in on the legislative call-in session that RCRC puts on. No real outstanding news there. I mean, I think we're all pretty up on most of the real critical legislation that we are being made aware of. No new developments as far as that goes, other than SB 951 that we've talked about in the past in regard to some movement, hopefully, that will pass that will help us with development in the coastal areas. That has passed the Senate and will be moving on to the Assembly. Happy to see that. Attended our LAFCO meeting that Supervisor Starkey mentioned. Was happy to see 3 board members from the Klamath Fire Protection District show up. Chair Lara gave us a pretty big presentation about steps that they are taking to make the protection district up or down there better. So really, really happy to see them show up and give us a great discussion and presentation. I attended the Citizens Advisory Committee meeting at Pelican Bay. Happy to report there that we are seeing inmates transported up here to Pelican Bay on a regular basis. In the last few months, they've increased the population at the Bay in the neighborhood of around 600 inmates. So that's good news. Bad news, Elizabeth Freeman, who's been on the Citizen Advisory Committee for a long time, tendered her resignation. She'll be moving on to bigger and better things. As I said to her there, I have no doubt that she will remain active in the community. I have no thoughts that she's just going to sit still. If you know Liz Freeman, you'll probably agree with me there. She's very active in our community. But we will miss her there on the Citizens Advisory Committee. I attended the City Council meeting where, among other things, they talked about an ordinance to restrict parking of RVs in the city on privately owned lots. They considered that, and after a long discussion, they decided to not adopt that ordinance, and I think that was probably wise. They also said goodbye to Jason Wiley, who, after about 40 years, decided to retire. Just wanted to wish him good luck during his retirement, and that's a big loss to the city. There's a lot of knowledge there that is leaving, but we do wish him the best. And lastly, just dovetailing off of what Supervisor Starkey said, we met with the sheriff to discuss concerns that were shared to this body. The sheriff took a generous amount of time with us, answered any and all questions we had, and I can say we walked away with not being concerned about the investigation that went on in regard to those comments that were made. So just wanted to pass that on as well, and that will do for my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Borges? Good. For myself, I just want to pass on my thanks to staff and to the members of the board who stepped in for me while I was gone for the last few weeks on vacation. No man is an island, and these things don't happen without the assistance and the help of everybody that gives their time to the board, and I want to appreciate the time that they did come forward and fill in for me at both LAFCO and Delaware Solid Waste. And thank you for your time and your effort. Also, we have several matters coming up. 4th of July is coming up, and we have a request. There is going to be a cleanup of South Beach on the 5th of July, and they are hoping for volunteers to join in that cleanup event. As you know, if you've lived here any time after the 4th of July, South Beach is atrocious. The amount of festivities that go along that whole strip of South Beach, as well as the inner, leave quite the mess depending upon the tide and how things are at the time when the 4th of July festivities are done. And it takes a lot of time and effort to go in there and to clean those things up. So there is going to be an effort. We are also looking at talking with Caltrans on getting additional facilities, hopefully, into that area during the 4th of July, that being both the porta potties as well as additional trash receptacles, because of the amount of trash that is left out often exceeds the capacity of the various trash cans that are there at the time during the 4th of July. The attendance is so enormous, and we're thankful for that attendance. We really look forward to it. However, those that are attending and enjoying our area here in Delaware County, if they could please take the effort to bag and place your trash near, or at least as close to, the receptacles if they are full, and get that off our beaches. And we appreciate all that help that they can do. We have lots of events coming up down along that South Beach. We have there is going to be a surfing surf lessons going to be provided to kids next week. And so if you have kids that are interested in surfing, they are going to be providing lessons down there all on that surf. So if you're going to be there, please take time at least to enjoy watching the children as they get out there and enjoy South Beach and enjoy that area. Today, we'll be opening up the bridge in Klamath today at 3 o'clock. There is going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony. The bridge there that has been under construction for, and the signal light, it's going to be open today at 3 o'clock. So that will be, I'll be attending that. And then, of course, tonight is Tri-Agency at 5 o'clock at the VFW, and I will be in attendance to that. So thank you all for coming, and we are going to look at consent agenda. Comments from members of the public may be heard at this time regarding any matter on the consent agenda. If you have any comments on the consent agenda, please come forward.
The items 10 and 11, I couldn't understand why we were taking our home list to Reading, but thank you, Valerie, for clarifying that this morning. So that's it.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? Entertain a motion?
I'll move to approve the consent.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. Please poll the vote.
Supervisor Howard?
Yes?
Supervisor Starkey?
Yes, with the recusal on number 4, as that is a relative.
Supervisor Short?
Yes.
Supervisor Borges?
Yes.
Chair Wilson?
Yes. We'll look at general government, item number 13, approve and adopt an ordinance for the Delaware County Board of Supervisors amending ordinance number 2021-006, establishing the 2024 master fee ordinance for the County of Delaware in accordance to the Government Code Section 54985, as required by the Sheriff Coroner of the concurrence of the County Administrative Officer presented by County Council. Any comments to be made?
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any public comment as to this item number 13? Seeing none, pull the vote.
Supervisor Howard?
Yes.
Supervisor Starkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Short?
Yes.
Supervisor Borges?
Yes.
Chair Wilson?
Yes. Number 14 is approve and adopt ordinance Delaware County Board of Supervisors repealing certain chapters of the Delaware County Code relating to Cable Television Advisory Commission and the Aviation Advisory Commission.
Move to approve.
And second?
Motion and second. Any public comment as to this item? Seeing none, pull the vote, please.
Supervisor Howard?
Yes.
Supervisor Starkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Short?
Yes.
Supervisor Borges?
Yes.
Chair Wilson?
Yes. We have several budget transfers. 15, approve and adopt budget transfer 0505, the amount of $163,773. This is within the miscellaneous revenues and expenditures budget to allow for the currently budgeted ERP funds to be transferred to the technology fund where the project will be accounted for at the requested time by the auditor controller. In addition to that, this moves along with it, approve and adopt budget 0506, the amount of $636,773, and this within the technology fund expenditure budget to allow for the currently based ERP funds to be utilized in payments related to the ERP project as requested by the Director of Information Technologies. Number 17, approve and adopt transfer 0602 to the amount of $15,000 from the miscellaneous revenues expenditure budget, building maintenance parks budget unit to allow for the purchase of new heavy duty trailer as requested by the Director of Building Parks Maintenance, and approve said 0603 to the amount of $15,000 miscellaneous revenues expenditure vehicle budget unit miscellaneous revenue and expenditure interfund building maintenance budget as requested by the County Administrative Officer. Those four, is there any motion?
I'll move to approve.
Move to approve. Valerie, second.
Second.
There. Any public comment on those budget transfers?
What does ERP stand for?
You want to?
It's our new budgeting system.
I'm sorry?
It's a new budgeting system?
But what does CRP stand for because you guys use acronyms. We don't know what they are. None of you know what they are. That's perfect.
I'll get, it's the Emergency Response Program. It's not, but I'm just making CAO Wilson, or Lopez, do you know?
Enterprise Resources Planning. So basically,
you.
it's an overall system for our financial
Enterprise
system.
Resources Planning.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have a motion and a second. Any public comment? Seeing none, poll vote.
Supervisor Howard?
Yes.
Supervisor Starkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Short?
Yes.
Supervisor Borges?
Yes.
Chair Wilson?
Yes. That brings us to our timed item at 10:25. Members of the public may address the board in matters that are within the jurisdiction of the board. If you are addressing the board regarding a matter listed on the agenda, you may be asked to hold your comments until the board takes up that matter. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less.
Since Del Norte Sheriff's Department did not conduct an investigation on Tamara Sanders, I requested police reports regarding this murder and was denied. Since I'm denied to review the police reports, I thought it's important to share what I found in this murder case with the public. Each of you received a bunch of documents, and I'm sure you didn't read them because you honestly don't care. So that was 2 weeks ago. Joseph Capinelli is the groundskeeper for the barn that was on fire and where the murder took place. He's the only one with keys. He decided to author a declaration on his own behalf and personally submitted it to the mother of the deceased. Why would you create a declaration when you were not asked by law enforcement? Mr. Capielli declaration states he hears a woman screaming twice, followed up by 3 gunshots, and then he ran towards the barn. How did he know where the screaming and shots were coming from? Mr. Capielli stated the body remained on grounds for 3 days after the fire. He took pictures of the body and gave the pictures to the mother. Why did he feel compelled to take those pictures? When I asked Mr. Capielli about the declaration, he stated he never signed anything, nor did he write a declaration. I asked him if he would like to see the declaration, and he said no. I asked him if he had the pictures, if he still had the pictures he had taken, and he replied, "What do you think?" On June 29th, the mother of Tamara went to Tamara's gravesite and discovered flowers at the grave. Next to the flowers were 3 cigarette butts and a crushed can. She called Mr. Capiello and asked about the flowers, and he stated someone had called and wanted to know where Jane Doe was. And when she asked him who had called, he said, "I don't know that information. People call here all the time, and we don't keep a log." She also discovered near the barn, when she went out there at another time, that there were 3 cigarette butts and a crushed can in the same way that she found at the grave. Mr. Capiello's phone number is not registered under his name. It's registered under Vincent A. Capiello. And if none of these factors are eye-opening to you, then I think our county's in trouble because we really need to at least question this gentleman because he's got conflicting statements. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Kelly. I'm the mother of Tamara Sanders, and I just wanted to point out that I have now finally received this fake fire department report. This is from the Crescent City Fire Department. Crescent City Fire cannot sign off on an arson. An arson investigation must be done by CAL FIRE. There is no CAL FIRE report. Tron BA has stepped down from that position. He is now a captain and not in fire protection any longer. I requested that. I did a CPRA request to the Sheriff's Department and to CAL FIRE, and now that I've brought my concerns forward to the board, they produced this Crescent City Fire Department report that shows that there are no casualties. It also shows that there's $300,000 worth of property damage and $300,000 worth of contents damage for a total of $600,000. The barn owner was never given a copy of this, and his insurance company offered him $200,000 and $11,000 for the contents, and he fought them to get them up to like 20-something thousand, and he is still continuing to fight with his insurance company. This barn was so full, jam-packed full of stuff that there was no clear space. He was really the only person who had keys except for the owner. I do have pictures. I did bring them here today. I did show them in the back. I probably shouldn't show them since this is live feed, and I guess I won't do that. But if you look real close in one of them, you can see that there's an actual round wound in my daughter's left flank, exactly where the second autopsy showed. And none of her organs were there to be examined, and they couldn't even produce an actual CT, okay? The CT they gave me was just still images on a disc. A CT, if any of you are familiar with that, you can scroll through it. You can see all the angles of the body, okay? This was still images on a DVD. Again, this department has treated me and my family like an idiot, and they continue to brutalize me. Do you realize that I only know what the public knows and did not know until the public knew? Do you all realize that my daughter was buried on May 27th and I didn't get a call until June 17th? Michelle Green herself told me that she knew within 3 days. Tron BA told me they knew before he left the scene that they were pretty sure they knew who it was. My daughter had a missing person report. Did anybody bother to call me? I'm very surprised that this Board of Supervisors sees nothing wrong with this. I can't imagine that you have looked at the evidence if you are going to sit here and say that there's nothing wrong with this. This is clearly a cover-up, and I have many things, and I will come here to speak, and I will go to Humboldt County and speak, and I will go to Sacramento and speak.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. You know what? I am going to show it. Too bad. Edit it out. Pictures of the caretaker showing me. This is the barn. This is the fake report. I don't care. What are you going to do? Here you go. Here's the round defect. Do you see it? Do you need it blown up a little further? Since I had to look at my daughter's dead remains, so do you, and so does the public.
Thank you.
I don't think you.
What were you told, Mr. Short, that makes you feel confident with a complete investigation?
Are you going to address, if you please, if you're going to come up? Otherwise, no.
You said he was confident in the investigation. What makes you think?
All right.
What brings that confidence?
Any other public comment at this time? Moving on then, legislative and budget issues. Consider miscellaneous legislative and budget matters pertinent to the County of Del Norte. Authorize the chair to sign and send appropriate letters with respect to matters pending before the state and federal governments. Number 19, review and discuss possible action of the proposed budget for the fiscal year of 24-25 for Del Norte Solid Waste Management Authority as requested by the Director of Solid Waste Management Authority.
I'll move to approve that.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Chair,
motion
can
and a
we
second?
clarify, usually if you guys approve the budget of solid waste, no action needs to be taken?
Okay.
So can we just clarify on that report, on the board report, what he stated? I believe usually it's no action taken means the budget is approved.
Well, it says review, discuss, and take possible action. That's
Okay.
why. I mean, if,
Okay.
otherwise, we
We can
wouldn't.
just opt to take no action. That's
Yeah.
fine with me, too.
It's fine. We can move forward with the motion in a second. I just wanted to clarify on that.
I don't want to.
The board report does say if we take no action, that it is approved by default.
Oh, I
so-
see. You're right. The actual body of the report does say that.
Okay.
Okay, then we'll take no action. I withdraw my second.
Okay. And receive copy and letters, number 20, receive copy and letters provided to state legislators, the Director of Health and Human Services per section 1.60 of the Administrative Manual as requested by the Director of Health and Human Services. Any comment as to those letters? Any public comment as to either item, 19 or 20? Saying none? We are done.
Samantha, we did that just to you. That's how they all.
10:35.
Wow,
We are adjourned.
just like that.